Hello everyone, today I just wanted to share some of the things that caught my attention on the news recently. We have moved to level 4 COVID response, and now we have to comply with some of the restrictions that government suggests for us to fight that disease and to stop the spread of the virus. We have to stay at home with our family members, to not go anywhere, don't use your car unless you're going to the doctor or to the grocery shopping. Most of the shops and most of the businesses are closed. Only essential, so-called essential businesses is deemed by government are allowed to open. Most of the people are basically staying home, schools are closed, kids are at home. Big holiday. A lot of people are under a lot of financial pressures, especially those with the small businesses who were forced to be closed. I understand this as a big stress currently to every participant of the economy in the country. The restrictions are quite tight, and I didn't venture to go and try and challenge that. So I've got no idea what's happening outside our little bubble. With all of this, interesting few things has caught my attention on the news. One of them, people moved into this lockdown. A lot of people are unhappy. A lot of people are questioning why is it happening. And on the news, there is a report. There is a report from UNIWA. This is our weather environmental agency in New Zealand. And the guys have been measuring the quality of air in Auckland. With all the cars are not allowed to come in the CBD, only essential businesses again. So the streets are basically empty.
The biggest motorways in our largest cities are now all but empty, and it's having a dramatic impact.
This is some of the largest reductions we've seen anywhere in the world.
NIWA tested air quality in Auckland last Thursday, our first day of lockdown, and found huge reductions in pollution compared to levels over the last 5 years.
So many businesses are suffering. Yes, people are. That was a day when the first victim of COVID-19 died. Actually, sadly, this old lady, and the announcement about it was just in the news just a few minutes ago. And then we're moving on to that episode, and people from NIWA are measuring the quality of air in Auckland when there is no cars on the street. And then, of course, the conclusion of that the quality of air improved so much. Who would think that it would not?
Lincoln Road in Henderson. On Thursday and Friday afternoon, it was effectively reading 0 for air pollution from road traffic.
And who would think that these guys from NIWA are essential business? And who would think in this particular moment of crisis for the whole country, as we were said from the TV so many times, from the government, from the Prime Minister, from the police, from everyone, we said only essential businesses are allowed. And yet those guys are coming in and measuring the quality of air in an empty city. Why is it happening? What is the agenda behind it? And probably the best way to think about it is actually to think about the conclusion. And conclusion was,
climate change experts say it proves we can reduce our impact on the environment if we adapt our behaviour, and that what we're being forced to do now could pave the way for how we live and work in the future.
Shall we just take it as a style of our life? Well, maybe we should stay all in a lockdown. Never use our cars again, just to improve the quality of air. I just wonder. It struck me like that was done by someone's order. It didn't only happen in Auckland. They were also talking about Christchurch, Wellington, and looking at the quality of air in these major cities during the lockdown.
Data for Wellington and Christchurch is still being worked on, but with tens of thousands of cars off the road, NIWA is expecting similar results.
horrendous. I think it's really bad, guys. It's been presented in the news in a feel-good type of way. You know, well, our environments got so much better just from people not being around. And I felt sick after this. Okay, in another question is also, I was wondering, how is it in a lockdown, the buses are running? Why? That everyone knows that the buses are not quite self-sufficient, the bus service, so, and it's a lot of government spending on it because they don't quite earn the money to sustain themselves. And it's a situation probably in a lot of cities around the world. But the question is, why the buses are running when people are supposed to be on a lockdown? And why the buses are running when there is a clear rule has been stated from the TV that it cannot be in numbers of more than two people can collect on the street. And then they even made a tighter regulations that we're not supposed to even come to anyone closer than 2 meters or 3 meters. So everyone knows that buses run a centrally conditioned in a bus. So basically all the air circulates all the time inside the bus. And if there is a sick person on a bus and there is another person anyway in the bus, there is a high chance that these guys would probably get the disease, whichever this disease is, COVID or any different disease. The public transport is known for spreading the bugs. Is known, not this year. It's no news that the most amount of bugs people get from the public transport when it's especially quite crowded inside the planes or the buses or. Yeah, so I don't understand why there is a need to run the buses when no one is supposed to be using the buses. This is just strange. I think it actually ties up with the fact that we're not allowed to drive our cars anymore because cars spoil the quality of air. And here is the bus service that can transport you wherever you want. And if it doesn't run in your particular location, well, that's fine, just stay home. And this is how it works. And another one. Yes, this was just outrageous, absolutely outrageous. After the announcement of next, I can't even remember which one was that. It's they're pretty similar from the Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern. There was the police guy was talking, and he openly asked New Zealanders to say. To spy on their neighbors. He said it's okay. You were encouraged to call the police and complain about any neighbors that you think not complying with the lockdown limitations. I think this is horrible. We are asked to spy on each other, and we are asked to tell on each other, snitch on each other, and tell to the police so they could come and sort things out, put things straight. I think this is horrible. Like really, I feel really bad about what's happening. Really bad. I think everyone needs to be on the lookout for things like this, and hopefully no one really is going to be going and complaining about their neighbors if they just decide to walk extra 10 meters for their morning walk. Okay, this is it from me. Bye.